What is up, Overwatch community? My name is Trips, and welcome back to another episode of Watchpoint, the show where we cover everything Overwatch related. And we have some good news. First of all, we're all in beta, so that's amazing. Of course, Yiska, once again on the show, was in beta before any of us. But Volcha and I got into beta this week on Tuesday. I was the very last person. I was crossing my fingers. I almost didn't get in, but Blizzard must be paying attention, or we just got really lucky.
You
So
got in at the very end of the wave, too. I looked at the clock. You must have been one of the last people getting in.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I wasn't in. Everybody else was in, and I was like, I'm not in. And I just left my computer, and I was like, I guess I'm not in. And then I came back and had the install button. So it was a close one. But before we gush too much about how amazing the game is and all that other stuff, there was a bunch of patch notes released. So some of the stuff that we went over last week, I know we talked about all the speculatory stuff that what is the next game type going to be, and the maps and stuff like that. So we're just going to go over the confirmations. So the first thing is the new game mode, Control. So the idea of Control is it's a King of the Hill style map, and it's a best of 3. So if you win 2, you don't go on to the third map or the third control point. But I think I like it. I mean, obviously, I'm very new to the beta, being only playing on Tuesday, but I like it. I think it's much different than the payload maps because it's a lot more build up your defense and hunker down in one area.
Yeah, it basically distills Overwatch teamfight combat, right?
Yeah.
So it obviously then lacks a little bit of the finesse of the other game modes, but that's just what it is, right? Straight action, not much, too much flanking, or cursing around the map and really trying to get an overview. But it's straight to the point, concentrated, constant action, constant team fights, and yeah.
I like it more than payload just because of all the action, and the match just kind of swap back and forth pretty quick, and it's not attack defend based, which can kind of get a little sticky, I guess. It's a lot more fun.
I've seen plenty of maps go to 99%, get the control point stolen, and you can't get the control point back, and then you just lose. And I mean, obviously, vice versa too, stealing the control point and doing that. But it's so fun. I like May is amazing on those maps, especially in areas where there's only a couple of entrances into the area, or feasible entrances. You just block off a whole entrance, and you get an easy 4 or 5% on the control point.
Lucio seems pretty good too for support because he can pop them off the point at will pretty much. And a lot of the points have cliffs right near the control points, so you have ample opportunity to pop people off cliffs.
Lucio and Zenyatta too, very last second, Zenyatta can, you push in, pop the Zenyatta ult, and you guys just desecrate the entire team, and your team's alive. Just the AoE heals. I honestly think that Lucio and Zenyatta are much better on those maps than Mercy.
Maybe.
Yeah, it might be. The one redeeming factor for Mercy is that because everyone is so concentrated on the point, now her nerfed ultimate radius actually covers more than most of the time 2 people. You might get a 3 or 4 res of based on that, but at the same time, it's quite easy to make out where the Mercy is, and you often get flanked basically simply based on that.
Yeah.
I also noticed Soldier 76 seems pretty strong because he has pretty much constant rate of fire from his gun, and you kind of need that. The bursty type characters don't seem to do too well on that map type.
He's another one that he can just blast people off cliffs.
Yep.
Yeah, but the thing is, he has just gotten a lot better for some reason. It feels like he does a lot more damage, and basically took over the McCree role with his changes, right?
Yeah, he can shoot real long range. Seems.
Yeah.
So
real accurate.
The way that they split this up in the patch notes, it says they have Lijiang Tower and Nepal. I know that they're there's multiple subsections of these maps. It might just be one map, one giant map, and you're controlling specific points on that map. But is there any control point, we'll say, that sticks out to you as your favorite, maybe? With, I know you can't say exact names because of the way that they did this, but maybe describe it a little bit. Because I know one of my favorite is the one, it's the perch that goes up the two stairwells with the giant statue in the middle.
Yeah, that's mine too.
Mine too. I play a lot of Hanzo, and that one is really hard for Hanzo to deal with. That incline there, he can't get anything done, but it's a fun point to play on. Yeah.
I think probably the one that I don't like would be the one where it's like a backed off square and both teams come in at each other an entrance to the right or left respectively, and then there's two sets of doorways and you're backed up over a cliff. If you know what I'm talking about, it's like a square room.
Okay.
Yeah, on the Lijiang Tower thing, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Lijiang Tower, just with the Chinese architecture.
I played that once. Either I was just stupidly unlucky, and I played it actually once with you, and then never again. I don't know if it was not in the pool on Europe, or I was just very unfortunate.
See,
which is
I
very
played
likely.
one, I played one with when we were playing together where you're almost like inside of Nepal, like in the robotics base. It was, and I've never seen that before, and I've never seen it today either.
Yeah, this is the third point then, probably, right?
Yeah. You know what? That makes a lot more sense now that you say that. So okay. I guess I wasn't thinking about it that way. I thought it was just like 3 random points, but it's the 3 points of each map.
Yeah.
So if you never get to that tiebreaker, you'd never see that point.
It's just also an interesting mechanic that they didn't randomize it, right?
Yeah.
That it's, or at least, is it random? No, it probably isn't. I don't think it is.
I don't think it is.
Because if we look at the map layouts, I think it emphasizes a lot of different character strength. Because, for instance, some maps are very, very closed up on the domination maps, right? Where Roadhog, for instance, is very good because you can grab pretty much everything inside. Then the first Nepal thing we just talked about with the inclination. There's a lot of space around that, and you can snipe into it technically, right? You see a lot of Widowmakers standing there, or Hanzos on these little roofs, and I don't know. It's quite interesting that they have a set order, and I wonder if they will keep that. If it's something about, I don't know, lore issues, something that they want to tell a story.
I think that might be it, because the way that you might progress through the map, because I think the one that we were talking about, if that is Nepal, it's the one where you start off on a ship and you're coming out into the incline in the statue area.
Yeah.
Rather than the one where it's in the middle and it also connects to a little bit of the robotics base, usually where like Hanzos and stuff sit and they just throw arrows into the circular room that you sit in for that one.
Yeah.
I've never really paid attention to it, but now that we're talking about it more in like an analytic type of way, it does make more sense. But I've just been going ham, just face into keyboard, playing as much as I can. I haven't really been looking too in depth to it. Yeah. So other than that, the player progression, obviously one of the big things. They didn't really hide too much with this, except for maybe exactly how it plays out. Is there any? Do you like it? Do you think it's nice, and it's a nice little, salting on the top of Overwatch and how good it is, and it keeps some people happy, and it just doesn't bother some other people, maybe?
I was kind of surprised they picked the whole crate option. Actually, really surprised. But now I think about it, it makes a lot of sense, because most of the more popular shooter games do have a crate mechanic, and it's easily monetizable, and it's addicting as hell.
And they could make hundreds of sprays and stuff like that.
Yeah. I for the most part like it. I usually don't get into whole like sprays and like that sort of stuff, but I found myself caring a little bit more about it in Overwatch than I normally would in the game. I kind of the limits of what I like customization to look like is just so I look different than other players, so people get to know me, I guess.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I'm starting to really enjoy, all the doodads you get and checking them out because they're all high quality and they're pretty good.
One of the things that stuck out to me is I can't think of the name exactly now, but it's like the highlight intro where if you get play of the game, you'll do something. So
Mhm.
like, there's one where Tracer like tries to act serious and she's all standing up like this and then just busts out laughing, or she does like a high jump into a backflip and stuff like that.
Junkrats are my favorite of those intros or whatever they're called.
I heard there's one where he like shoots one of his bombs off of the like screen as if it hit your computer screen and bounce back, and
Mhm.
it hits him in the nuts and he falls on the ground, and that's his intro for his highlight reel.
Yep.
Sadly, those never come up because it's always a Reaper play of the game or
Yeah.
Bastion or Bastion.
Yeah. Some of the Torbjörn plays the game is cool though, right? When he's just like hitting his hammer with his turret, or he'll just be
Whacking.
like off away, like picking up a health pack,
Uh,
and he'll be, like him running around.
or like
And it's-
switching between weapons, like confused with how to place items and where to switch weapons.
And
That was me
that-
earlier today. I got to play the game where I was like didn't know what I was doing, and that was the play of the game.
I had a play of the game today where Torbjörn missed repairing his turret twice. Like he would just whack left side of it twice.
Oh my god.
That was.
I'm honestly, I like the loot system though, because if you know CS:GO at all, that loot is one of the things that saved the game, really.
Yep.
And I didn't expect Blizzard to put it in, but if you really think about it, it's no different than a Hearthstone pack. It's just like a
Technically,
booster.
yeah.
It's a booster pack of items.
Yeah.
And
It
they have
has no functionality, right?
yeah.
In that sense.
No.
Other than Hearthstone.
I'll be
It has functionality.
I'll be happy with it as long as if they don't add like crates that you can't unlock unless with keys. I never liked
I
that.
mean, as much as I agree with you, I do not want. I want to be able to work for as long as it's not too much because I don't want to grind my ass off. But like, I want to have everything be you could work towards. But also, if you don't have time for that and you just go, I want the Mariachi Reaper tonight, and I want to look cool tonight. Go ahead, man. Spend $5, $10 on the game. Why not? Blizzard needs to make money on this game to survive. And if it takes me, one level and I randomly get it in a box, or it takes you $5, who cares?
I'd rather them just sell money then in that case, so you could just buy money to buy the item you want
So
rather
just
than
buy currency.
yeah, rather than like random gamble, like get the boxes you can't unlock unless you pay $5 for a key. I will never buy a key, especially since this is like a game I already paid for. Paid a pretty good amount of money,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
I'm not gonna want to buy keys to boxes. I'll be kind of ticked if I see that, I think.
I actually go into the exact opposite direction, but for different reasons. I actually made a video recently where I talked about what needs to be done in order to, get a decent viewership for esports events for
Yeah.
Overwatch. And the thing is, with the $40 price tag, because the player base is basically the recruitment point for viewership, because nobody watches video games they've never played, you are hard capped at the amount of people who bought the game, which will not be, obviously, not anywhere comparable to the 70 million League of Legends has or any other free multiplayer game. So how developers who have these esports titles that cost money have dealt with this is basically to have some incentive for participating in the esports market. And how they did it in CS:GO, for instance, which was my argument, is that they basically incentivized being emotionally like betting on games in a way, because that's basically what the ecosystem did with the skins, right? I don't think Valve really, predicted for this to happen. But what it actually did is people, like the worst games get betted on, and people are invested in this. And even terrible events with bad teams get decent viewership based on that concept. I actually would go a little bit further and say, let's maximize viewership and come up with a system that is comparable to that.
The only problem is that CS:GO betting is a very gray area right now, and it's very borderline being illegal in the US.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So I doubt Blizzard would ever promote them. Ever.
I would think a nice model would be to go free to play after a year and a half.
People would lose their shit. I just paid $40 for a game that's now free.
Well, you know what? TF2 went the same way. You had to buy the orange box to get in.
TF2 was $20 and it came with 4 other games.
I think it was like $30 when it came out with the other games, but it was like maybe it was longer. Maybe it was 3 years when they went free.
Eventually, going free to play would be smart. Yeah,
I think they should do that
after a year.
Well, maybe. I mean, I think that's kind of the model in for some Asian games where here's how it goes in some Asian games. You pay to get into a beta, and the beta is extended. The extended year-long beta, and then it goes free to play. I'd be okay with that for a model. As you say, maybe some other people wouldn't be.
All I'm gonna say is that I don't think it'll go free to play, but I know for a fact in this coming Christmas season, if not this Christmas season, next Christmas season, it'll be on sale. I mean, look at all the WoW expansions. WoW was $60 for the first game, $60 for the second game. If you bought all of those games at full price, what is there, 5 expansions? Not even counting all the money you have to pay for subscription base. All those games are like $10 now. You could buy the whole bundle for like $10. It is 10 years old, respectively, for the first game, but it's not like they're not going to go on sale. Blizzard is huge on sales, and they know their competition, Valve, is huge on sales.
You think people would be okay with it going free to play if they got some sort of big bundle of items for buying in?
I think exclusive.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Okay.
Exclusive skin or something, or I don't know if people would be okay with an exclusive spray, but
no. Maybe 5 or 6 skins, brand new awesome skins that you can't get without buying in, and then it drops free to play. I think people would be pretty excited with that.
This is something though. It's something so tiny. Blizzard, put in a beta spray. Put in like we're talking about exclusives right now. The way that people have their their EP and they I've been playing this game since beta 1 or whatever. The way that League of Legends was doing it was that they did limited skins, and they had Shen, which is a ninja for those that don't know. Shen in the game, he had a Scorpion for Mortal Kombat skin, but it was called Yellow Jacket for copyright issues. But it was limited, and they got rid of it, and you could never get it again except if you played in the first, maybe the second season. I'm not exactly sure. But then they fucked up and they brought them all back, and you could buy their limited skins because they wanted to do another cash grab. But those limited items, I have items in WoW that, old arena sets and stuff that are useless. They're not worth anything, or old trinkets and old toys and stuff like that. But it's kind of like you bring it out in a party and someone's like, oh, wow, I haven't seen that in years or whatever like that. Or if you spray on the wall and you're like, oh, yeah, hey, man, you were in beta. That's cool.
TF2 had that they on purpose and also some accidental things. When they introduced some item drops, sometimes items would have a level, and the level was supposed to be 5 or whatever, 10. Sometimes you get items that were level 100 that it was just a bug and it stuck around. And I have some of those items just to show how much of an OG I am in that game, and it's pretty fun. That'd be cool if there's that stuff in the beta.
Isn't there like a token or something for TF2 too?
Yeah, there's a
Veteran
token.
token?
Yeah, for when you bought it, and then there's also some of the items are called vintage items, which are before
Yeah.
some date. But if you have the vintage with like, I have a vintage level 88 Huntsman that I love for no reason other than it's like OG.
It's a digital item.
Yeah.
I, I I just thought of like when we're talking about exclusive skins,
Mhm.
there's this mechanic in CS:GO tournaments where you get drops from watching streams when you connect it to your
Same thing in Dota.
Steam account.
Yeah, it happens
Exactly.
in Dota too.
100%, that should be an Overwatch.
But
down the road.
are you saying that's through Twitch that you can do that with
Yeah.
CS:GO?
Yeah.
That's weird. I've never seen that. But I know in Dota, if you watch it in the client, it'll just be like I have I think I have like a Juggernaut mask, and it has like you watched X player get a triple kill, and it's just
Yep.
stamped on your mask.
I mean, technically, if we're talking about the MLG acquisition, it's probably not hard for them to implement something that, you log into with your Blizzard account into the MLG platform, and then you get just drops that illustrate some cool tournaments or something.
Yeah.
Like what they recently started doing is, if you have an MVP in a round and you get a drop from that round, you have like a golden sticker of the name of the person in that major game that dominated that round. And I don't know, this customization of like these options that just keep the hype going, for people to actually watch. And to be fair, it's a little bit cheap artificial boosting of viewership numbers.
Yeah.
Because I also am one of the people, and there's my surfers who's watching on a different Steam account and Twitch account, and then there's my cell phone, and then there's my main PC, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Before we speculate too much, because that could be a whole nother show on cosmetic stuff. As far as the overall customization and stuff goes, I personally, I think they're doing a good job. I like where they're going. Nothing outlandish, nothing, too crazy, but it's definitely like when I think I hit level 3 and got a legendary tracer skin, and I was like, this is badass.
I'm pretty happy with where it is right now, but I'm skeptical and a little worried where it could go, and could go very, very easily.
Mm-hmm. There's a tipping point. There's definitely a tipping point.
Mm-hmm.
You mean Coca-Cola skins?
Oh my god.
Buying keys for the Coca-Cola skin, yeah. A lot of the skins are great. The custom skins, they're like, I guess they're kind of, for the most part, lore-ish or interesting enough to like make sense. They're not like stupid.
Yeah.
They're like high quality, pretty awesome things to look at.
Although there are a couple of characters that just have shit skins. I'm sorry, like they're just recolors or like stupid skins. I do not like Xenia or Zarya. I don't know why I mixed Zenyatta in there, but I don't like Zarya's skins.
Well, she just has that one, and she's
She has
like
the one legend,
chick.
yeah, like the legendary chick. But
yeah,
I wish they would have made her like a female American Gladiator or something. That would have been
sick.
badass.
Yeah, Russian Gladiator.
Oh, that, yeah. But also, of course, there's amazing skins like the Safari Winston and Mariachi Reaper. Both Roadhog skins are so cool.
Mako Roadhog. I need this. I need this in my life.
The Symmetra skin that makes her the, like, I believe it's Indian god.
Mm-hmm.
That is. Zenyatta's skin is also very good.
The Ra skin, yeah.
The Ra skin, yeah.
Jinyata, I like that one.
Mm-hmm. Nice. All right, you're gonna keep moving down these patch lists because we're kind of gushing a little bit. So I'm gonna skim just over this because I'm sorry, I really don't care about this stuff. This is just like either for theory crafters or for like the competitive community to mess with. You know how well that goes in the Smash community. All the custom settings that you can do in the game. So you can mess with map rotation, return to lobby. You can customize, what does this say? Players can now customize which maps are enabled from their custom game. So basically all this is saying is, I think they went over this a bit, is that before you'd go, okay, we're going to play Nepal, and then you'd go back to the lobby, and you then pick another map. Whereas now I could say, all right, we're going to do a best of 3, and, you know, it's going to be this map, and this map. And we'll do like a best of 3. We'll do control point, and then we'll do payload, and then we'll do King of the Hill. So
I'm excited.
To be honest,
I was going to say, I'm excited to see what competitive kind of picks out of this, like the bones of these options, and see what they come up with. I'm really excited to see that happen.
I mean, it doesn't matter to me in my personal time. I mean, I could speculate on it, but
yeah, the thing is, like, without speculating what we will do, the fact that we have now the customization options, or tournament organizers have it, to decide. It's not just about, you know, map rotations and everything, but maybe we have a situation where something is a little bit overpowered, or, you know, and then you just have the option to implement these rules within the custom games that allow us to react before a developer possibly could.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like, when you're talking overpowered, you mean like defense turrets, like turret on turret on turret?
It's a little bit ridiculous right now. Yeah.
We'll get to that. Hero selection limit, none. Makes no sense to me. 1 per team, 2 per team, 1 per game, and 2 per game. Role selection limit, that means, I'm guessing, tank in that such, like tank, support, attack, defense.
Okay, that's kind of stupid, but the champion max, that's exactly the point. When the competitive community says we don't want D.Va spam, you just limit it to 2, bam, fixed, right? The role thing is kind of stupid, because let's be honest, like, some of these characters are really mislabeled in what they actually do in game, right? Like the roles, people have already tried to come up with better terms for certain characters,
like hybrid terms,
hybrid, flanker, striker, or something, right?
Bruiser.
Yeah, exactly, and just nuisance or something, and. The thing is, for instance, I would be hard pressed to say that Roadhog functions as a tank in game, right?
Yeah.
Then I would have to say, yeah, Bastion does too. So he takes even more damage, right? And yeah, limiting then the roles, like, to say 2 max, that's just kind of artificial. Why would I not be able to play Mei and Hanzo when Hanzo is played like more like a, you know, fragging character or something? Not that he currently is, but just as an example.
Isn't Mei basically a tank anyways? Like,
no, she's survivability, because she can't take a lot of damage, but she has a double life.
Yeah.
I mean, she could put up a wall the same as like excuse me, as Reinhardt, and she can self-heal, I guess, in a way. She sticks around and she absorbs damage and can block damage.
Yeah. But moving on, as far as I want to get past these freaking private game stuff. Allowing hero switching on and off. Respawn as a random hero, that could be fun. We've talked about that, actually. Player can now customize which heroes are enabled for the custom game. So you could be like, all right, Torbjörn's completely broken, so nobody can play Torbjörn. We're just turning him off. Gameplay options. Player can now set their custom game as a skirmish. Really? I didn't even see this. Yeah. That's so you can just.
Pretty nice.
That's
GM.
Just yeah. You can just basically play deathmatch in custom games. Players can now set modifiers of the following stats: health, damage, healing, ultimate charge rate, respawn timer, and ability cooldown. So you could do what they call in, I think it's called like God mode or like OP mode or something in Dota. It's like a custom game where it's no cooldowns and it's just chaos. Players can now enable or disable following options: skin, health bar, kill, cam, feed, headshots only. So if it does get too crazy with their skins, you can always say, all right, this is a tournament. You guys are playing vanilla skins so that everyone watching knows what's going on. And there's no crazy like fish roadhog, you know, which is honestly kind of cool in my opinion. That has never been enabled in Dota or League of Legends that I know of. So new people who, you know, their friends are like, hey man, watch this game. And they go and they're like, oh, the fish guy with the fishing hook. Okay. And then they go and they play and they're like, well, where's the fish guy? I want to play the fish guy. It's a little bit of saving confusing. I know that sounds kind of dumb, but that's honestly what Blizzard thinks sometimes. Custom game AIs have been improved, so you can play against bots. And several small quality of life changes. Scrolling the mouse will now zoom you in and out of third person. That's the spectating mode. When spectating in third person, right-clicking will now detach the camera at its current location. So this is honestly for casters. And the third-person camera will now orient based on where the spectated player is aiming. Okay, a new work-in-progress training mode has been added, practice range. Work-in-progress profile system has been added, career profile. So that's like your personal. Initial support for AMD cross. We don't care about that. And Jeff Kaplan's beard progression has been reset.
Sad days, dude. He was my
might-
beard idol.
We might have to pull a reset. I might have to pull a reset myself.
Same, yeah.
I had to reset.
Okay.
Cooldown is just so long.
Yeah,
It's
man.
kind of annoying.
Honestly, not for me. It's like babyface, and then like in a couple hours, it's like this. It just goes
Yeah.
back, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're getting into the meat and potatoes. All healing effects now work on shields. That is very interesting.
That's good news for Zenyatta.
I mean,
Zenyatta, Zarya.
yeah.
Right.
And when they say shields, those are not like Reinhardt shields. Those are not Zarya bubble shield thing. Those are like when you get a shield on your health bar, it'll be blue, I believe. That's right. Yeah, it's blue on your health bar. And so it's just part of your health bar that gets regened. Quick melee now pauses weapon recovery time while active. So does that affect the hook buckshot punch from Roadhog? Have you tested that since?
Yeah, I think it still works.
It still
Well,
works. Okay.
yeah.
Ammo will now reload in the middle of weapons reload animation instead of at the end of it. So basically, I don't know who this affects because I don't think anybody has like a shotgun. As far as like, you know, they're reloading like 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think it means as far as like, so if you're 76 and you reload a clip, you don't reload the clip and then like cancel the animation by like say sprinting and fucking up the reload. I think that's what they're trying to prevent.
That makes sense. That makes more sense.
Mm.
Several adjustments have been made to in-combat visual effects. Enemy team ability colors should now be more clear. Muzzle flashes have been retuned for several weapons, and I have seen this talked about before. Is that this is up to you, Yiska, because you did play previously. Have you noticed any of the in-game weapon models, like the models that you can see in first person? A couple of people have said that they've toned them down a little bit, like they're smaller. Do you notice that at all?
I didn't notice it, no. But
Okay.
then again, there was a pretty huge gap, right? So
Yeah.
it's hard to really feel the absolute same for, especially because we were only able to play for like 2 months or something. So it to get this intuitive feeling where you know exactly this is how big my model used to be and now it's different. Yeah, it's not really. I don't know. It could be, yeah. But in general, and we did an episode on this with the visual clutter, they really toned that down, right?
Yeah.
So it's decent. It's still obviously a Blizzard game, and how eloquently Vulture put it, it's still pretty porny. But
yeah, it's graphic fidelity porn. It's just like flashy colors and shining lights, and it's fun. I get it. I'm a huge Blizzard fan. Obviously, I think, you know. Actually, you know what? I don't. Vulture, are you a huge Blizzard fan, would you say? Or do you think you're a decent Blizzard fan?
I'm not really a fan of like game companies, but games and genres. So I'm a fan of some of their games, and I do like their art style for some of their games because
Yeah.
I am kind of a fan of the whole porny look, and it is a lot of fun. It's kind of new for me to see it in a shooter. I haven't really seen that since like some arena shooters, and even then, it wasn't as wild as it is here.
Yeah. All right. So this is the huge one, I think, and the one that brought our buddy Junkrat back from the grave is ultimate charge on all heroes. Players no longer gain ultimate charge from taking damage.
Good decision.
Very good decision, because basically what it was before we talked about this is that if you're not gonna kill somebody, just firing random shots into them to try to like push them back or make them go run back for a health or a med pack, you're just charging their ultimate.
To a degree, that's still the case, right? Because how important
Healing.
support ultimates are, and if they have a pocket healer with them,
Yeah.
and you're charging his ultimate, now your ultimate is most likely not going to be as powerful as the support's ultimate.
Mhm.
And it's still kind of in the game, this idea of centrating, but obviously not anywhere to the extent that we had it, right?
I'm really interested to see what competitive looks like now that this change happened. If it's a
Yeah.
bit more aggressive, I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's enough of a change.
Also, they also had ultimate charge will now generate slowly over time for all heroes. So you'll notice right out of spawn, you'll run, you'll get probably to like right where the two teams are going to meet, and you'll have about maybe 2% ultimate charge just automatically. So this works well for people like D.Va. This works well for some of the people who are on the back lines, like, you know, Hanzo sitting over watching a battlefield. Obviously, you should be looking for kills, but or even Widowmaker. If you're just sitting back and nobody's coming across your line of fire, you got to keep moving and trying to adjust your angle, but you're not charging your ultimate up at all. But this is going to help you a bit, you know, just giving you that passive bonus.
I think it helps Symmetra most of all the characters, I think.
Yeah, also because they really nerfed. I know you guys didn't play, but it used to take a lot of effort to charge your ultimate before dying, right? On the first point.
Mm-hmm.
And that was ultimately a goal. If you were able to not die and get a teleporter down, that was insanely powerful, right?
Yeah.
And nowadays, it's much easier to get to that point, but it's also not as snowbally because you can't charge ultimate while your teleporter is up, which used to be the case. So you just had teleporter on teleporter on teleporter. And it was basically then very hard for the offense to do anything once that goal had been accomplished. And now it's more balanced in a way.
Okay. So now that is the overall game changes, and it's going to get into more specifics now. Now, I don't want to get into too much numbery stuff just to save face on some of the people who aren't as analytical, but I do want to just go over it really quick. So Bastion, base health increased by 50 armor. Configuration recon, minimum weapon spread has been removed. Weapon spread will now start recovering more quickly. I'm going to try to go over some of the more important things and not every little thing. Transforming from a sentry to recon decreased from 1 second to half a second. Aim restrictions now have been removed. Bastion can now aim in 360 degrees, which is honestly incredible, but you're going to try to back yourself up into a wall anyways. But if somebody tries to get behind you, I'm guessing previously you were more than likely just screwed.
Yep.
Survivability in sentry mode now has been rebalanced. Now grants 300 armor. The frontal barrier has been removed. Bastion's core is now exposed when deployed in sentry mode, located on its back. All successful attacks to the core will deal triple damage. And finally, self-repair now heals 25% of total health per second instead of a flat value. So 4 seconds makes you full health. So how do you see Bastion right now? Do you think he is a force to be reckoned with on defense?
I won't say if I think he's balanced or not yet because I'm not decided. I will say
not
there's
balance. Just how does he feel to you? Do you think he's powerful or do you think he's not?
I'll just say there's some weird things about him from a player's perspective. The whole shooting in the back thing, it doesn't seem to work. maybe it's very specific angles or very specific hitboxes. I haven't had successful like 300% damage on the back of a one yet, and I don't know what that's about. And then second, he seems really survivable. I think we were playing the other night, and I shot a dragon at one, and he survived almost the entire dragon, just sitting in the middle of it and just repairing in sentry mode, and that's a little weird to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He seems kind of tanky in sentry mode for being a defensive character. So
And he does
maybe,
insane damage. Right.
maybe reduce the armor value a bit, if anything. But I don't want to talk too balancy. We're not balancers. We're just players.
Yeah.
But I think he's really strong because I think the turret, like go all Torbjörn, all Bastion, and all Symmetras with like a healer. That's the most ridiculous defense because you just pocket corners. You get like, Torbjörn. You finally get his turret to go down, and then there's another Torbjörn around the corner, and you go to kill that one, and then the first Torbjörn resets up, and it's just obviously there's counters, but it's a bit ridiculous.
This turrets are just kind of not fun in a lot of ways. If you're on the opposing team, turrets kind of suck because you're killing an object, not a character, and an object that's just gonna kind of pop back if it's Torbjörn or if it's Bastion. If it's Bastion, he's just gonna repair up, and that's not very fun. I'd rather fight something that's not just a brick.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The thing is, I wouldn't mind if they introduced that's an easy thing to balance in the sense that currently it doesn't feel very rewarding when you kill the turret because it's simply raised up so quickly. So you could just add more hits he needs to upgrade it to level 2 because level 1 is basically I don't know.
Level 1 is not hard to deal with. Level 2 is where it becomes,
it's a bit suppressive there.
Yeah.
But to Bastion, the thing is, which I kind of enjoy at the same time, I think is pretty broken, is that because you can switch so quickly into recon mode now, is you can jump repair. So you jump and you can start repairing mid-air, and therefore get out of line of sight. And as soon as you, or even mid-air, start repairing. So if you deploy that strategy or that little play thing, it's very hard to die, honestly.
Yeah.
If you're smart about it. It seems like his matchups really shifted. When formerly Genji was a very strong character against him, simply because he could get behind him with his strike, he could reflect a shit ton of damage to him, and then could duel him possibly.
Yeah.
Now it's just he just cripes on Genji. He cripes on most of these characters, right?
Well, that's multiple things. It's like you saying Genji used to be good because you can just dash behind him. He can't, his field of view of where he can turn in sentry mode is locked. And if he goes, oh shit, I need to get out of sentry mode, it's a 1 second. So they halved that. They gave him 360 degrees and they gave him more armor. So it's just, he completely lost his counter.
I see why they did that, because the counter was stupid and easy, and they wanted to make him an actual character, not like a gimmick. And this does put him closer to an actual character, I think, than what he was before.
Do you think a good fix for him would be that his aim wouldn't be immediate, in the sense that he could do 180s just from mouse flick and turn around to the person behind him, who obviously outplayed him to be behind him before the guy saw him? Yeah. Or he put himself in a bad position. But now, even if you, because the core thing, maybe they also need to better visualize the core. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's another thing. Because that doesn't seem very potent, he can't just turn around and still duel you, even if you already took off 200 armor from him, right? Yeah. You're then in his effective range, and he's just crapping on you. Basically, still as every character you could possibly come up with. So I wonder if it would feel clunky if you just made it like a tank kind of thing, where the the aim is not immediate, where you like have to move a little bit slower, and then obviously you would have to find the best speed for this to work. But currently, like, you feel like, okay, I outplayed him. He didn't see me. I got into his back. I should be rewarded for that, and it doesn't reward enough right now.
I think that's a good thought. That or a weapon spin up time could help too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right now he just spits, and he can. I mean, if you want to like edge him out, like say if you're Hanzo and you want to edge him out, you can't really because, I mean, he could suppress a corner real hard at will.
Okay. Moving on from Bastion, we got a lot to go through. D.Va. When D.Va's mech is destroyed due to damage taken, it will now despawn immediately instead of a few seconds after D.Va's ejected. This is just for like visual. This is just for visual clutter, which is nice. And defense matrix size decreased about approximately 50%, and shape changed to be more cylindrical than I'm not even gonna try to say this word.
Conical.
Conical. How did you know that? Are you reading it?
Yes.
Okay. I'm guessing that means cone like shaped.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly I don't see anything crazy with D.Va. She has become my new favorite tank on defense though, just because her with Symmetra and Torbjörn armor and shield is amazing. But other than that, you guys have anything you want to say as far as D.Va goes?
I haven't used her enough to really judge either way, but I noticed that not a lot of people using Cone very much when they do use her. So that gives me the feeling that it's not very effective currently.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's still pretty decent in the hands of a good player, you know? Like, it can just nullify a complete Pharah ult, for instance, right?
Yeah.
And one thing is obviously she's way easier to kill, simply because she isn't invulnerable during the animation of getting in and getting out. She wasn't invulnerable while getting in, I think. There was still some angles where you could kill her, but yeah, now it's actually a lot easier. And they also made it, which is interesting, that it also works on me, is when you kill the mech, you get the 100 points for killing the mech, which is the 100 points like killing a character. Right?
Yeah.
So that feels rewarding, even though the points don't seem to really do anything.
No.
Right? But I'm like, yeah, I got 100 points for that. That's like a kill. And then she's also very easy to kill as,
a
you
pilot.
know, without her mech. Yeah.
The pilot is just so squishy.
Yeah.
Like, if I know that if my mech dies and I'm in a pilot form, if there's anybody, I mean, I've gotten taken down by like a solo Mercy. It's just, you're just paper. You're worse than a Tracer.
She is probably, I think, the smallest character model though in pilot mode, so that's something going for her. I don't know if that really translates into actual hitboxes, but I've had trouble hitting her in pilot mode because she's so dinky.
Okay.
The thing is, I wonder if that opens up, you know, exploits in the way that, because now she's so weak in pilot mode, and she also gets more into pilot mode and is more vulnerable, that people actually run into spawn and just pick a different character because they don't want to deal with. I wonder if you can even pick a different character, switch back to D.Va, have mech.
You're saying if you're like on the very last point of spawn, or for. I mean, that's kind of clunky, but
yeah, it's clunky. But I wonder if that's going to be exploited in the next tournament.
You're saying if you could run into spawn, change characters, and get a new mech?
Yeah, exactly.
It could probably work very well at the first hit point if you're on like offense. You know, you get popped right on the spawn. You can run back and do what Yiska said.
Okay, so Hanzo, scatter arrow has now been fixed to a spread pattern. Sonic arrow can now stick to and move along with enemy targets and barriers. And Dragon Strike, Hanzo can now turn while using Dragon Strike.
You guys don't even know how annoying that was. Like, you were animation locked for such a long time firing the shot. You kind of had to line up, and then you were animation locked, and he was just shot. It was retarded, really. Like, you were standing there, and then, you know, on the that there's this little opponent creeping in, you're just locked into this animation, screaming some retarded shit, and then then you're just dead, and your dragon flies in a random. I don't know. Like it feels a lot better now.
Okay. Yeah, it said it was just a quality of life, nothing too huge.
It seemed to make a huge difference, though. Like I think he's much stronger than he was. Maybe also because other characters have been kind of nerfed, and that these interdependencies of meta is kind of switching in his favor. I think also I think we will eventually find out that they switched some hidden stuff that just doesn't tend to be, documented either on purpose or not on purpose. Because right now he's getting headshots, man.
He's doing very well in the beta, and not like, I don't know, not like something crazy. Like he's not OP and everyone's picking him and he's a problem. He's just doing really solid.
He as far as the meta goes, he's quite good at popping sentries, especially level 1 and 2. I mean, they just drop, and he's not too bad against Bastion. If he uses scatter shot, he can drop him pretty low, and if there's other teammates there, it's enough to like kill him, I guess. As far as that goes, he's got a strong role right now, I think, as far as a turret killer, if anything.
Yeah. Okay. Mercy. Guardian Angel can now target the souls of dead allies. That's very weirdly.
What does that mean? Does that mean like if there's a dead person, you can fly to them where they died?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a little golden soul, basically. Like
it's a get out of trouble. It's a get out of trouble node if you die. If everyone else on your team dies and you're just Mercy left there in the in the middle of 3 people.
Yep.
So Resurrect ultimate charge cost decreased by 25%. Activation time decreased from 1.5 seconds to 1 second. Range decreased from 40 meters to 15, which is really huge.
Yeah.
And no longer locks aim during activation.
I think Yiska called that nerf on the range in the last episode.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that is huge, right? That change basically just puts her into a place, and also opens up a lot of spots, basically, on certain maps and certain compositions for other supports, I feel like. When before, it was very easy to, in pubs especially, to get 4 reses or something, because you were just standing sometimes in your spawn point where the enemy had no counterplay. Now 15 yards is super, like
it's less than 20. It's less than 50%.
Like in pubs, you really feel satisfied when you get to rest 2 people, because everyone's just running around like a headless chicken, right? You can't coordinate where people people want to die, basically, or I think this will be the point where if you want to play a Mercy comp, you really have to coordinate around her positioning, right? The person playing Mercy has to tell you, okay, you're out of range, or if you're going to die a bit more to this location or something, and it might even break her.
I know Mercy I am a big support tank player, and I love Lucio. Zenyatta is really fun. Symmetra's kind of meh. But Mercy, I just don't get her. I think maybe it's the coordination thing. Maybe playing with random pub people who just like they're just running off doing whatever the hell they want, and you're trying to chase them around and like, oh, I'm gonna heal you and I'm gonna heal you, and it's a little confusing, but I don't know, man. She's weird in my opinion.
I tried Mercy and it didn't last long for the reasons you said. It just didn't feel right healing all these puppies. And then I went with Zenyatta, and it was so much easier. I was like, here's an orb, just go have fun, child.
Exactly. Yeah.
Come back before dark.
Okay, moving on. This is a very small one. Pharah, jetpack will no longer refuel Pharah on sliding and unwalkable surfaces. So basically, if she's gonna shoot up over a building and then slide down on the arc, it's not gonna let her continue her altitude just because she's trying to, trick jump off a roof or something.
Yeah, it's actually pretty big for her ability to stay in the air.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, I think the best illustration of this is like the first point on Hollywood, where right side of the arch, you can jump over, and then there's like a roof, and she used to be able to just slide down there, just refuel all her jetpack, and then keep hovering and hovering back over the edge, then sit on the other side in safety, come over, then her boost is up again. She basically was able to stay airborne the entire time, and now they nerfed that. I think that was quite necessary.
Okay. This is Reinhardt now. Earth Shatter. This is his ult. Damage decreased by 50%. Cone width decreased by 40%. Reinhardt can now turn while using Earth Shatter. And this is a very interesting change. Now renders Reinhardt immune to Zarya's gravitation surge. If Reinhardt activates Earth Shatter while trapped in the surge, he will now be dropped to the ground and the ability will be activated at that point rather than activating it midair. There's very interesting counterplay as far as ultimates go.
Wait, can he then just run off, or does he immediately get sucked in back again?
I don't know. It doesn't say, but
wow. Yeah, I didn't even read that.
I would assume he gets sucked back in if he's like below it, because Earth Shatter is going to drop on below it.
Move for team tower this village.
Yeah, true. It's basically probably something with the functionality of a Shatter where they didn't want to break it, and that's why they forced.
It might just give him like 30 invincible frames or something in the animation.
Yeah.
And then he just gets stuck back in. But
they might have just done it just so it's not weird looking to have Earth Shatter up in the sky, and the animation going like that through the sky.
Honestly, it might not have hit people because it might be looking for like feet hitboxes.
Or yeah.
Okay. And Roadhog. Chain hook stun duration after being hooked has been slightly increased, which is good. The only thing that I've noticed, though, with Roadhog, maybe it's just me, but I feel like when you hook people, it doesn't, like, put them right in front of you. Sometimes it puts them, like, a good distance, like, maybe, like, 4 or 5 meters in front of you. Which doesn't make sense to me.
I think that's a lag thing that's happening.
Lag or terrain, yeah.
Okay. Oh no, I've also gotten the terrain thing. I've gotten people where like they go around, like some of the levels have like high lows and stuff in the map, and you throw a hook right as they run past a high low, and the hook like sucks to them. It like goes around the high low and pulls them like into the high low, but they don't come through the object. It just like pulls them up against the wall.
Yeah. That's actually the better interaction of the two, because sometimes you get effectively pulled through the wall, and it just goes like, and you still get pulled to him, even though you did the counterplay, you did come around the corner, right? And that's kind of the issue we also already talked about in a different episode, where it really feels like, to me, it still feels like I do a lot of stuff that could have potentially saved my life, but I still die. Like there seems to be almost 0.5 seconds, delay in my actions when I'm looking at the screen of the opponent, and maybe that's just something we have to deal with. I don't know.
I mean, it could just be a bug too, as far as like when you throw the hook out, if the hook, is looking for that hurt box of the connection to be made, and then the connection is made or whatever, as far as them interacting with the terrain, that's going to be stuff they're going to have to like almost file away. Like if you throw the hook and there's a terrain interaction, maybe they'll put a sound and your hook breaks, because that shouldn't happen. You should not pull someone around terrain through a wall, or like if you're looking, like if you're on a bridge and you throw it directly down and they run under the bridge, there's no reason you should pull them up into the window.
Yeah.
But we're moving on. Soldier 76, heavy pulse rifle, new reticle added. I almost said something a little weird. I'm guessing that's just the. I don't know why I'm blanking out the hit marker.
I think it's
the crosshair. That's what I was looking for. Yeah. Long range damage fall off added, very good, because it's an assault rifle. It's not a sniper rifle. Spread recovery now begins instantly instead of after a delay, which is kind of bad for 76 players, but good for anyone who has any type of control. And spread now has a curve, which makes it more accurate at the start, but then quickly becomes less accurate. So for Counter-Strike players, there you go. I don't think there's anything too crazy to talk about.
Yeah, the thing is, you guys need to play around with that mechanic, because I think it's kind of...
Is it random?
No, the thing is, you can just forego that mechanic by simply constantly tapping.
Bump firing it. I noticed that.
Yeah. And then it's laser point accurate, right?
Yeah.
And that feels like... I remember playing Bad Company or Bad Company 2, and they had this weapon we called the Hand of God, which was the M60, where you could just exploit exactly that. If you had the tapping speed right, it was just firing laser bullets again. Here, there is no timing involved. It's just click as fast as you can, just not long enough, right?
So you're saying there's no window, it's just click, and if you let up, then it resets, click, let up, reset, click, let up, reset. Whereas, like, let's say Counter-Strike, if you're tapping, which you're supposed to do, there still is that slow progression of the...
So, yeah, there is no... Like, the recovery time is way too low.
But do you think they really need that? Do you think it has to be that, like, realistic?
As it is now, I mean, you can write scripts and have, like, laser 76 accuracy,
Well, that's illegal. I mean, that's not going to be like... You can't have a script in tournament, so...
No, but, like, we're talking general, like, gameplay, you know. Plus, I don't know, to me it feels stupid. I was sniping earlier, and a 76 was just lighting me up, and I was like, how the heck is he doing that? So I spent some time, and it is exactly what, as Yiska said, which is you just click like that, and it fires almost as fast as, like, holding it down, and it's pinpoint accurate. You can, like, get headshots with it, and it feels broken.
So you think they should add a tiny bit of a buffer, but nothing like CSGO style?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or less recovery time. Or there's a lot of ways they can go about it. Just break that mechanic where just tapping, like I don't know. It also is not fun to play because you're just basically racking your index finger, right? But yeah.
All right. Symmetra. Symmetra turrets will no longer generate ultimate charge when dealing damage to barriers. That means things like Reinhardt, correct? Barrier.
Barriers, yeah.
Because I'm trying to get the exact vocab correct. Because
exactly.
You know,
yes.
Barrier as opposed to shield.
Important.
Yeah.
Okay. Teleporter ultimate cost reduced by 40%. Symmetra no longer gains ultimate charge while her teleporter is active. That's interesting. I don't think I don't like it, but it's basically saying if her teleporter, because it has charges, it is, you know, it's not like a TF2 teleporter where it can just be up forever. Her teleporter has, I don't know the exact number of charges off the top of my head. But it's something like, I think 6. Is it 6? I was gonna say 6 or 7.
Yeah. 6. Okay. Once for the entire team, I think.
Yeah. But that's kind of weird because if it never gets found out, you're not gaining the ultimate charge that entire time, and then you have to redo it, and you're out like, you know, like maybe 3 minutes, 2 minutes ish of teleporter, which I don't know. But then again, you could argue, okay, well, if you're charging up ultimate that whole time, as soon as it gets killed by a Reaper or something, oh, there it goes again.
No,
and that's a little broken.
I have a thought about this. You know, a lot of the channeled alts, if it gets interrupted, you regain partial parts of that alt. I think they should implement it a little bit so, like, if you're at 5 charges left, you get a decent amount of it back if it gets destroyed. But if it goes and it pisses out after teleporting 6 people, you get no charge. Or if you get...
Well, that's the exact opposite of what we just said.
Isn't that just negating all counterplays to that ultimate?
Yeah, that's kind of...
You could
just
maybe tailor it a little bit. Not have it so extreme.
Maybe just turn off the passive ultimate regain.
Like that.
Yeah, that could be it.
You know,
But
like
in
if you're
general,
doing damage, it still charges, but not just like you could lose like the passive percent gain.
the thing is, I think she's currently one of the characters. I would have to play more, but I think she's one of the characters that also among the fastest, really. So if you have solid turret placement and just pre-fire a lot, and then obviously also she has some punch now. Like
Oh yeah, I've been chased down by Symmetras.
yeah. I mean, you like the vast majority of characters probably should win the duel, but if you mess up once, she's very reliable in punishing mistakes, right? Then this Voip ray mechanic sets in, and she just crushes you.
The turrets do pack a punch, especially if you got like 4 or 5 of those things just like lasering your ass down. You walk into the wrong room and don't notice it quickly.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
also very hard to judge where your attention should be, right?
Mhm.
Because if it's 2 turrets, okay, you can ignore these for a while and battle the player in front of you. If it's 4, you should be one-clicking them real quickly and then go back to Symmetra. So, and that like absorbing this information, how many turrets are killing you right now, is quite hard to make this decision. And there's the outplay potential she has also. Like that's I quite enjoy her in the way she's currently.
I don't think she's anything crazy as far as overpowered goes, but
no.
All right, moving on to my bane, but also someone who I love to play because it's super easy to play right now, Torbjörn. He was really complained about as far as the first beta goes, that he's just, he's not as good as people are saying. And then there's other people who are like, he's super OP. But as far as right now playing against him, when he's on defense, he is annoying. He's just literally annoying. And sometimes there's nothing you can do about it when there's 3 of them.
Yep.
On certain maps, obviously. So we're going to there's a lot of changes. We're going to go over these as fast as possible. Torbjörn's turrets will no longer generate ultimate charge when dealing damage to barriers. Same thing as Symmetra. Scrap. Max scrap increased from 100 to 200. Amount of scrap per pickup decreased from 30 to 20. Indicators have been added to help players locate scrap more easily. So these are just when a player dies, either if it's your team or their team, you can pick up scrap. There's no like ammo pickup for scrap on the map. Rivet gun, his primary gun. Damage increased by 25%, but the fire rate reduced. Alternate fire, so this is like the flat cannon. Damage increased by 50%. Fall off increased at maximum range. Fire rate decreased by 33%, and now shoots projectiles that need to be aimed. What does that exactly mean? Because
I have no idea what that means. I just feel maybe my mind is tricking me here, but I think the player model Torbjörn, so the actual player, got a little bit weaker, I think, than he used to be. Because, I read a theory on the subreddit that you probably shouldn't even care about your turret in the last beta version, and he was obviously terrible. But if you were just a little bit better than other players, you had a couple of matchups where you could win duels, especially if you had constant armors. And right now, that really doesn't feel that way. And especially the right click, it feels like it doesn't do as much damage anymore, even though mathematically it should be.
Yeah, it's slow. That's all it is. And really, what it feels like right now is you set up your turret, you watch that bad boy like it's your, fresh new puppy, and you just pop shots just like over an arc where you think they're going to come, and you're just helping your turret. That's all you're doing.
Yep.
Building turret. So now here comes the stupid part. Upgrading the turret no longer costs scrap and occurs more quickly. So he doesn't have to deal with as far as collecting scrap as much. Basically just for armor packs. Level 1 damage increased by 15%. Health decreased from 250 to 150, which makes it super easy to deal with. That's why we said level 1 turrets are not the problem. Level 2 turret, damage increased by 15%. Health decreased from 425 to 300, which I couldn't even imagine that at 425. And he can no longer be upgraded to level 3 with a Forge Hammer, which is his secondary hammer that he upgrades with. So basically what they're doing is his ultimate, if it's a level 2 turret, it will empower himself as far, and also it will boost up his turret to level 3 instantly. So if you have a level 2 turret and it goes down to 10 health, you just pop Molten Core right away, and whoever's on top of that turret is most likely going to die. So level 3 turret, bullet damage increased by 15%, bullet fire rate increased by 25%, rocket launcher damage increased by 50%, but now fires in bursts of 4. Rocket launcher fire rate decreased by 33%. So the rocket launcher did get nerfed a bit. Rocket launcher explosion radius decreased by 40%. Rockets no longer cause knockback, which is okay, I guess. And health increased from 600 to 800. So basically level 3 is pretty ridiculous. Armor pack cooldown has been removed. Armor pack grants up from 50 to 75, so that's really helpful for his team, like I said. And packs are no longer visible by enemies, which I don't know what that would do, other than you could like sit on top of a pack if you're an enemy and like guard it from somebody taking it.
Nah, I think it's actually, I actually want it to be visible for others, because it feels very awkward when you're about to kill someone and suddenly you're kind of calculating that, okay, this is the shot I will be, like, I have 2 shots left, I need 1 to kill him. Oh, what? Why didn't it kill him? Right? And you walked over a random pack.
Do you think it should be visible, or do you think that there should be like maybe like an aura that goes around him?
Yeah. Not like to reduce a visual clutter. Like you don't want it to light up as much as it does for your team, but there needs to be some
maybe
indication.
like an opaque model of it, or translucent rather.
Yeah, something of that sort. Like the scrap, I don't care for. Right?
Yeah,
that should be hidden, because that's already kind of hard for him to gather, right? He needs to go out of his comfort zone, and that way it's balanced. But sometimes if you're fighting for a point, there's just loads of scrap on that point. And once you're sitting at 200 and buffing your squishy characters that get considerably less squishy, then that is also very strong. Because if you think about it, most of the time, that armor pack beats out the Symmetra thing by a lot, right? There's the added benefit that it doesn't automatically regenerate like the Symmetra thing does, but it adds a lot more effective health. So I don't know. I think it needs to be visible in some ways, just some indication, just that you don't get. I mean, I guess it's kind of like if the opponent really factors that into their play, that they trick you into following up on you, and they run over a packet and therefore win the duel. That's kind of skillful, but I don't know. Come on, man. I don't know. It's such a fringe case. Most of the time, you just don't know what happened and how he got that survivability that he shouldn't have.
Yeah. All right, and just finishing out really fast before we go too far into it. Molten Core no longer fills the scrap meter, no longer makes abilities cause 0 scrap, and can now be activated while moving. That would have been ridiculous if you had to stand still for that. And now automatically upgrades. We talked about this level 2 turret to level 3 turret, and when Molten Core ends, it goes back to level 2 turret. So I was reading this little developer comment that says, similar to Bastion, Torbjörn was a hero that often felt too powerful against less experienced players, but underwhelming against more experienced players. In particular, we found that blah, blah, basically you could stop him. So it kind of made me sit back and think. I'm having a big problem with Torbjörn as far as not one Torbjörn. That's not the problem. It's the turret watching every angle on defense. That's my problem. And I don't know if that's... It kind of made me sit back and think, and I don't know if that's like an experience thing. I don't know how you feel about it, Yiska. Do you feel like Torbjörn and Bastion, with their changes, have become not overpowered, but better in the sense that they can lock down an area really well?
They can. And I don't know if they fixed the issue they wanted to fix with that, because they said Torbjörn was very good against bad players.
Mm-hmm.
That's still true.
Yes.
I think what it just did is it moved up like the range where he is effective at, because I still think he's not very good against top level or even high level players, in the sense that there's a lot of like experienced players will just counter him outright with one Pharah, one Junkrat, or what also very much dominates him is a Winston. If you think about it, like he can drop his shield in front of the turret and still laser the Torbjörn who's trying to repair the turret and the turret itself. So that's the perfect counter.
Yeah.
Just don't see many Winstons right now. For obvious reasons. He's not very fun. We kind of still in the fun phase.
I love Winston. Winston's my most played right now.
Is it? Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I think like from a lore perspective, he's among my favorite characters. I just don't think he's very engaging to play.
He's not fun. He seems really simple because all he has is a shield, a jump, and his laser gun that you just fire it and you just go like this, and it just attacks people.
I loathe him for one simple fact: is there is this in Europe we have some legendary like gods of Quake on the service, right? And you see the god of gods for me, like a huge fan across the years, which is Cooler, right? This genius, almost 7th level FPS Quake player. And that guy only plays Winston, dude. Like, I'm like, that's Cooler, Jesus Christ. I'm talking to him, and do you like Overwatch? Yeah, why not? And then he just plays Winston. I'm like, I'm going to see some amazing Pharah play or something. Nope, just Winston. Dude, he's crushing my dreams. Just for that, I hate him, but I guess I can't blame him much for that. But yeah.
Okay. And just gonna finish out, that was it for the balance changes as far as the characters go. The game's main social options menus have been redesigned. I don't notice that. Gameplay and always skip kill cam option has been added, which I turned on, and the kill feed display has been turned on. Volume sliders have been added, blah, blah, blah. Scoreboard statistics have been reworked for all heroes. New commendations have been added for several heroes. Players can no longer receive more than one commendation turn during end of round vote. And voice chat. An on-screen notification will now appear when players are speaking in other channels. Controller, do not care. Performance, as far as FPS going, player collisions have been improved. Interrupting Hanzo's bow draw should no longer prevent the bow from being redrawn if mouse 1 was still being held down. Junkrats, rip tire should no longer fall through slope surfaces. That would be stupid. Reinhardt's fire strike damage can no longer be calculated as a headshot against an enemy player, which is kind of stupid. Why can I not headshot people with a projectile?
Maybe because it's like massive. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe headshot at the bottom of it, you know what I mean? Like the foot of it.
Yeah.
So if I aim
Maybe
it upwards.
It'd be cool if there was like a really small sweet spot that you could get headshots. That'd be cool.
Okay. A couple things at the very bottom that I did want to mention. In-game voiceover IP. Let me tell you, from somebody who played WoW during the we're going to implement a new voice chat, and when it came out, it was garbage. Literal pointless. I think it's still in the game. Oh, it shouldn't. It's just taking up space. I'm sorry, Blizzard, I love you, but garbage voiceover in WoW. This voiceover is amazing. Amazing.
It's like, better than Skype.
It's ridiculously good.
It is scary in a way. I remember being on TeamSpeak with a friend and having like the crispest quality in that channel, and we're talking to each other, and then just some Russian guy starts talking in the channel, and my friend is like standing around. I'm like, dude, play. Now I gotta ban this Russian from the TeamSpeak. You legit thought we had some Russian on the TeamSpeak server because the quality was so crisp. Like, fucking amazing.
I mean, we all joined a party chat. Some of the things are a little bit weird though. Like if you get invited to a party, you don't automatically join their voice chat. You have to go through an option to put it on. I don't know. I haven't looked in the settings menu. I don't know if there is a setting to be like when invited to party, automatically join voice chat. That would be a good option, maybe to turn on.
It needs to be a little bit more intuitive. I think they really stepped up. They basically redesigned the entire menu system. It's still kind of like I tried to explain that to you guys in a former episode, but it's still a little bit clunky, and
I mean, it's
it
beta.
used to be awful. Yeah.
Beta.
But yeah, obviously. Like I won't blame them for that. That's an obvious. Just like I won't blame them for the implementation of the kill feed, how it
is
seems
clunky.
quite-
I was gonna say that was the next thing. It just looks like blah killed blah, and it's just like big blocks.
Yeah, and the voice indicators on screen, you can't read them. You have to like stop, squint. Who? Okay, that's who's talking.
There is like the font is kind of small, and there is flipping as far as some of the menus go. Like in the end game, like when you see like the cards in the scoreboard at the end, there's like a title that goes across the screen. I can't think of what it says exactly right now, but there is like clipping as far as where the audio things go. So maybe either unlock it so I can move it, or reposition it yourselves. That is a must, because there's clipping issues. And as far as like if I'm going, if it's in like quick match or something, and somebody's like, oh, I have my ultimate. Obviously, this is a problem with their communication, but it would be nice to be like, you know, it would be like Yiska, and then have like a little portrait of like Lucio or something.
That would be cool.
Yep.
I don't know as far as clutter goes. I know they want a clean UI, but if you're gonna put the voice in there, you don't just shove it up in the corner. Like, put it somewhere where I can see it.
In green font that no one can read.
But other than that, as far as like hearing people, talking to people, perfect. Amazing. Don't touch anything.
The thing is, I hope it won't be as criminally underused as it is right now.
Yeah, a lot of people just turn that shit off, and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna listen to music and play my game." It's like, dude, you're playing a competitive game. Like, I'm not, like Vulture. You said you're not like try-harding right now. You're still just trying to learn and have fun with the game. But as far as I go, I don't really care if you want to talk, but come on, man, like, listen and try to like, have some teamwork in a team game. It's weird, I know.
Yeah,
I like to be able to yell at people who are like raging, be like, relax, man, chill out, make them even more angry. That I like doing that with the voice.
Because people will rage as long as nobody else is talking. If other people are typing, they don't care. But as long as if you speak up, either A, you'll both start yelling at each other, or B, they'll shut up.
It's also, don't you have you ever talked in game and immediately felt like the creep that is talking in game because nobody does it?
Yeah, actually, fucking social phobia shit.
Dude,
I'm a natural born leader.
Actually, the post we three got together on, right, was where I posted about this glaring beta issue that nobody's talking, and it really diminishes the experience. And that's even more true today with new beta plays, because before you actually had these outgoing personality streamers who were at least talking when they were not talking to their stream. Okay, that's fine, but they were communicating, and it makes the experience more rewarding and a lot more fun obviously. And the thing is, we Europeans are really not graced with great chat interactions,
social skills.
Like the only thing you take away from that is basically Russian curse words. Yeah, and that's what you learn. And
I've already had people suka bliat and all that other garbage.
Exactly. That's my favorite thing, because the netcode is so good in the sense that you can play on American service and it's almost not a difference.
Yeah,
I can see myself playing a lot on American service simply because I expect the community to be, not a lot more fun.
I've actually heard quite a few European voices on the American service so far.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had a couple people today. But that's before we get too far away from it. I do want to ask you guys: have you had too many, what the F are you doing? And like, you don't even know how to play and like stuff like that. Have you had much of that yet?
Yeah, I had some of that. People like freaking out, like if you did what I asked you to do, we would have won totally. And like
In voice chat?
yeah, in voice chat.
I haven't
Really?
had it.
Okay.
I haven't had it in voice chat, but I had people talking shit to me and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm muting you."
And that's basically what it should be, right?
Yeah.
That's if you are annoyed by a person, just mute. There's no need for anything else. Just a mute button.
Downvote them at the end of the match
And,
too.
yeah, if you
Exactly. Never play with him again.
Yeah, if you find somebody that either is talking crap to you or, calling you names, trying to be that tough person on the internet, you mute, report, and at the end of the game, you can click like rate players and it'll bring up a whole scoreboard of all the players and you just completely negative. And the way that, at least, I don't know if they have tweaked it since, but the way that it works is that if you rate someone positive, you will be more likely to be queued with them. If you rate somebody negative, you will be less likely to be queued with somebody. And the data that we have for this is some guy last beta went through and just rated every single person negative. And then his queue time shot up to like 10 minutes because he couldn't play with anybody because he rated everybody negatively. And I wonder where that guy is. I wonder if that got reset for him.
So the moral here is if you encounter like super turbo noobs, rate them up because you'll be able to kill them as more and more often.
I guess.
Exactly. Or if you get shit on by someone, just downvote them.
Yeah.
And I'm not shitting you. That's actually happening at the top level MMR in Europe already. If you purposely avoid someone in scrims, and also you don't want to play them because you're giving anything away, you just downvote and never, encounter them. And
That's
I expect,
crazy.
like, I've already heard a couple of people, like, we're living in a world where two teams are already paid full time. Okay,
That's incredible.
this shit is professional already, right?
I've been saying it from the start, man. I've been hearing, like I said this last week too, I think. I've been saying it to everyone I know. For some reason, there's this underlying, like, nobody's really talking about it, but it's coming in whispers that this is going to be, like, a huge esport. Like,
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously hopeful for us because we have invested time into it. But it's incredible how fast it's growing. But I think it's just maybe it's just the esports market in general. Everyone jumps on the money train.
The thing is, like, what I see is that a lot of industry people love the game, love the experience and everything. The question is, can an esport survive based on these core personalities? Can they draw in enough casual viewership? And
no,
yeah,
we draw in the casual viewership.
I mean, the issue is this game is probably not going to sell. Okay, let me sound very stupid, but this is not going to sell more than 3 million copies. Okay, so that's basically what I'm predicting will be the size when, like, a year down, 3 million copies.
What are you gonna eat if that doesn't happen?
Yeah.
Dude.
When this shit bumps over 5 million copies.
PC only, by the way.
Oh,
Okay.
come on.
So yeah, because what do I care about console people? They aren't going to be in the esports market.
Dude, there's gonna be some people who, oh yeah, I'll pick it up on my Xbox or whatever. I like shooters with a controller because that's where I play my Call of Duty. And then they play it and they're like, oh shit, this is a really cool game. But I want to play with, oh hey Joe, do you have Overwatch? Yeah, man, I got it on the PC. He might buy it on the PC. I think people are gonna buy this game on multiple consoles.
The question is a console player going to watch a PC esports stream?
Yes, because it's the game that they like rather than they don't care if it's what it's being played on, I don't think.
Well, it's kind of a different game between the two. Some characters are going to work great on console because, sticks suck. So, like, Pharah's probably going to be amazing on console. But, like, on
Tracer,
PC,
dude. How do you play Tracer on consoles?
Yeah.
Magnets with the reticle.
Magnets?
What?
it just sucks to people.
Oh yeah, auto aim or whatever.
auto aim.
Yeah. But still, it's going to be like pretty much. I believe it would be a completely different game between the console and
It's
PC.
going to be a different game, but I think people are going to watch it because I know, like my nephew, he doesn't play games on the computer that much, but he still watches stuff on Twitch because it's, ooh, that's a game that I know.
Well,
It's like TV for video games.
There's probably going to be some sort of console-based
crossover,
console-like pro scene of some sort. Probably. I mean, they bought MLG, so MLG is console focused.
That's the one thing that I'm hoping doesn't happen.
I'd be okay if it happens, as long as if it doesn't impact PC. PC is strong enough; it's gonna carry its own. So if there's like a little brother scene of like MLG babies, like baby's first MLG game, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Do you then, to not alienate the communities too much, do you then only create mechanics that could also work quite well on console? Like where you don't have to twitch a lot and...
Well, they've already... I mean, they're not going to change Tracer. That's their that's a flagship character.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
I mean, it's just kind of like, we're going to put this, person into the game, deal with it. And if it's too broken, obviously that's a problem.
Yeah, maybe they'll fix them independent then. Maybe Tracer will get some sort of like crazy damage buff on the consoles or something.
No, I think she's going to get a heavy auto aim buff.
Yeah.
I hope they have like really crisp Twitch implementation on the consoles as well. Like if a tournament is going on PC, that you also like as soon as you load up Overwatch, there's some notification or something.
Yeah. Watch this in your Twitch app or something.
Yep.
Other than that, you guys want to gush for... We're at, honestly, an hour and a half already. So we can gush for a little bit. That was a perfect show as far as data goes on the game. But I got to say, man, I thought this game was going to be really, really fun. But holy shit. Like, I don't know. It's kind of one of those things, where it's like, it's the dog chasing the car. Where it's like, I was chasing beta for so long, being like, oh, please let me in. Please let me in. I'm going to play it, and I'm going to have so much fun. But it's like, at the end of the day, oh, I never got beta. I didn't really know what I was going to do if I got beta. But wow. I don't know. I didn't expect it to draw me in this much because I've been that, like, I don't know. I don't know if we've talked about this before, but, like, ever since I played WoW, most games have just kind of been like, oh, yeah, it's fun. Pick it up, play it for a while. Yeah, it's pretty fun. But nothing's really ever drawn me in to be like, I want to play this. Like, I wake up and I'm like, damn, I want to play some Overwatch. So it's kind of nice to have that feeling back.
I kind of have a similar experience myself. I sort of looked at Overwatch and I was like, damn, this is like a once in a 10-year type of shooter, So I'm going to like it, I love shooters and I love wacky, I guess, shooters, non-military shooters. So I knew I was going to like it and I was excited for it. But once I got my hands on it, I was like, it was a whole different experience of excitement. And I'm glad it's turning out the way it is. And I just can't wait to play it.
Basically, like, I was a little skeptical after the first beta wave. I'm not going to lie. There were serious doubts if this game could, like, over a period of time. And I knew that all the mechanics that usually bind you to this game still weren't implemented. So I wasn't too concerned about that. But there was still this feeling, okay, is this going to be engaging for a longer period of time? And I have to say, dude, this patch is absolutely amazing for that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the video I did before, the points I made that they could still mess up the game with, they addressed almost every single one in a positive way and really, like, had game changer stances, like, where they also, I felt like, pulled a 180 and really took a new stance and decided, okay, this is the way we're going, and I'm loving it right now. And if they can continue on that course, I will probably end up looking like an idiot for saying it won't sell more than 3 million copies. But
I hope you look like an idiot. Just for the fact that I hope the game does well.
yeah.
Other than that, though, I kind of want to go play some Overwatch. So
You guys want to play?
yeah, man. But
Okay.
other than that, is there anything you guys have going on? Like Yiska, do you got any videos that you have gearing up for Beta Diaries? You gonna restart your
Yeah.
series?
Basically, the video I kept referencing over this episode was basically a way to keep me honest, right? Before this intoxicating feeling of beta came in, I thought, okay, let's really capture my feelings and then objectively assess, okay, did they address this at all, right? Because if you are in this feeling of, yeah, this is awesome, this feels awesome, you can kind of like bullshit yourself into not really being honest about the points you made before. So I really wanted to get that out, and it's basically about mostly esports focused, right? What needs to be done and everything, and there's still some open questions, but yeah, that's basically what I've been doing. And yeah, I'm going to relaunch the beta impressions. Maybe I will get some pro players to interview or something. We'll see.
Hey man, don't steal all our interviews. We need them here.
There's enough people around there.
Vulture, you got anything special going on? Are you focused on playing a lot right now?
I'm streaming now most every night. I don't get a lot of viewers, so if anybody wants to drop in and like wants to ask to see something in specific, you know, I got a good stream for that.
Yeah, it's a more interactive rather than some of the bigger streamers. Nothing against Seagull or like Rafflegate or anything like that, but their chats are becoming that like spam heavy chat.
Yeah. So if you want to see like a close up of Widowmaker's ass, you know, just ask me in chat. I have nothing better to do, and I'll show you her ass. And
I also have to say, Vulture is pretty solid.
Oh, thank you. I try. I'm focusing a lot on using Hanzo, and I feel like he's starting to click a little bit right now.
Yeah.
And also,
I'm very all over the place. I want to get all of them played. I want to know about every single one of them.
Something else about my stream, I play like outrun type music or synthwave type music. If you're privy to that and like that stuff, that's what I play all the time on my stream. So yeah.
All right. As far as I go, I put up 2 videos on Tuesday of all the skins in the entire game. Every single one. I've seen a couple where it's like all the legendary skins, but I wanted to show all of the skins because, yeah, some of them are just recolors, but some people like to have, multiple colors. I know, like, people who play Smash, I like to just go purple fox or orange fox or whatever, depending on how I feel that day.
Of course you are a purple fox, dude. Of course you are a purple fox.
Yeah, dude. Purple fox with that slick black jacket and stuff, man. You don't know about
I'm privy
fox.
to pink Luigi. That's my favorite.
Jesus Christ, man.
But other than that, guys, from everybody here at Watchpoint, thanks a lot for tuning in. If you've been here from the very start, we're kind of getting a slow snowball now that the hype's back up. So, share these videos as much as you can to anybody who you think's interested in the game. Subscribe, thumbs up. It's very PR. I know I hate doing, the asking for things, but it really does help us get that snowball rolling harder. And hey, you can say you were here from the start. So other than that, guys, we will see you guys next week. Hopefully they do another beta wave for anybody who is not in beta. Other than that, we're going to go play, and we will see you guys next week.
See ya. What's it called? There's this thing you don't put over cheese out of glass. Sort of looks like a
thing that you put over cheese out of glass.
Yeah, it's called Käseglocke in German. Like it. Cheesebell? Cheesebell? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Wait, let me see. Maybe you don't even have that.
Now arriving at Yiska.
Oh, this is control point. I wish it would say.
Uh-oh, I crashed.
Cheese dome. Cheese cover.
I know people like cover their butter, but
I get irrationally upset about how people treat their butter.
What?
do you put it?
Dude,
Do you put it in the fridge or do you leave it out?
obviously, man. Like. But then you can't really put it on your bread. Motherfucker, do you know what flaking is?
With every death,
Just flake that shit onto your toast, and then it melts onto the toast. That's the best way to keep butter. I don't care, dude. With these French Peggy, I don't know, containers they put it in.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Like, what's it? Like a
Cheese bells and butter flaking.
I know one of my buddy's families, they just leave it out, like on the counter.
That's actually like if you, or if I remember correctly, I think it was the main reason why butter was even invented was that you basically could take a milk product that doesn't spoil at all.
Butter never spoils.
Nah, just cut off the yellow shit, and the inner parts will always be crisp or you know, eatable.
Isn't that like cheese?
I'm on fire.
Yes and no. Because the qualities of butter is that this yellow shit apparently keeps fungi and
What? You
know,
stole my
bacteria
fucking
out.
kill.
That's what I do.
Wait, this shit is live? I felt like this was still
No,
normal.
this is live. Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't realize it wasn't skirmish either.
See through the dragon's eyes.
I have a bomb if they bring in a tank.